Unboxing and put together and get basically a first impression of a multi-purpose workbench made by Performance Tools. Basically, it's going to be like my sawhorses utility bench. So we'll get one of these. I can buy a second one because you usually need 2 sawhorses, but this one also expands for things, for cutting and such, right there. So I want to see what it looked like before I waste my time buying another one, and make sure it's what I want. And we'll open it up, see what we got. Looks like it should be fairly easy to assemble. I just gotta see what, if any, tools that I need. I have a rough idea of all the parts that are going to be involved here. There is a multi-tool right there that we're going to have to use. And I can tell you right now, there are no instructions. Oh boy. So basically we're going to have to try to look at this picture and put it together by looking at the picture. Alright. Let's see what we got here. I love it when they do that, no instructions. Here's your tools. So you are going to need some screws. These pieces go on there. I can tell by looking at them. And they just plug in. They're plug and play. These are your feeties for your legs, which these of course are your legs. The legs are going to be like such. They've got them angled out, so they want to go in this direction like this. Your feeties are going to go on the outside. Feeties are angled, so you're going to want the angle on the outside. Like I said, this doesn't have instructions, so you want to make sure you try to go as close to the picture as you can. According to the picture, these little angles are on the outside, so you don't want your feeties on the outside. I put them on the wrong side. So you spin them around like this. You want the angle to the outside, so it will angle correctly. And they're not going on, they're kind of bowed in the middle, so you got to try to work them on there. And you're going to do the same thing with the other set of fees. This comes with a wrench. I don't know where I put it. I'll find it in a second. And it will be to hold your nuts. But it also has screws. So what this is you're going to want your notches. Each one of these has a notch. You'll know your bottom side because it's going to have 4 screw holes. And there's going to be a notch. You want your notches to the inside. What we're going to do is open this up all the way, as far as it'll go. Then we're going to line these screws holes up, and we're going to put these screws in. So, you should have 8 screws. Hopefully they did better on this than they did on the directions, because like I said, there was none. Make sure we have 8 screws for each side. So a total of 16. 4 for this side. If you're like me, you have extra screws that you keep out in your garage or in your toolbox, but it's nice to have what you're supposed to have to put stuff together when they sell something. There's my little wrench I was telling you about. I told you we'd find it eventually. We do have all of our screws. So got me a drill. line our holes up. Unfortunately, my drill does not have magnetized head on it. And I don't think it's going to work. The head, I don't want that. So I have a regular ratcheting screwdriver made by Cobalt if you want one. You just twist it like that and you don't have to spin the whole screwdriver around. So we're going to put these screws in. We're going to have to take that first one back out and straighten it up. Now I'm not going to put them all in tight at first. I'm just going to put them in. Kind of put it in reverse. You see why I didn't tighten this up? Because I have to keep adjusting this. These holes are not what I was afraid of. They're not exactly lined up on this side. Like I said, we're unscrewing this all the way. This allows you to open and close this for, you can put pieces of wood in here to cut or whatever you need. So it gives you the ability to, and right there's the stopping point. I went all the way just like the other one, so I know that they should be the same. After I get these other four in, I will go through and start tightening them down all the way. Same thing on this one. This hole is crooked as all get out. So it's nice to not have it tightened down. Okay, so now we got them in. So you don't have to lean over to twist it. Now what I'll do is angle them every, if I can hit it on there. Wow. You can do these however you want. I do mine pattern in to tighten them, and then I'll do the opposite ones. You should have two different sizes. There's a small one and this big one. The big one is what we need. It's to hold the top. These small ones are going to be for your small braces down at the bottom. So, there are two different sizes of these. There's a small one and a big one. We're wanting the big ones. And the big nuts. Okay. We're going to go in here. Bolt goes through. This is nice if you have somebody to hold it like she's holding it for me. Otherwise, if you're doing it by yourself, you're probably going to want that on the bottom. Okay, we got that in. Now we're going to put this one in. Should be just a matter of lining it up and getting it to go down straight. Okay. When we do this, hold on a second. I forgot something. Let off some pressure. Forgot to do it on this side. We'll take this back out, and I'll show you why. Forgot to put the washer. Washer, then bolt. Same here. Washer, bolt. Line it up all the way through. Then you want to go washer. See if you can shine underneath there. Washer, bolt. I dropped it. Washer, bolt. This may come in handy for somebody who ends up getting one of these that does not have an instruction booklet, like we didn't. So, here's your tool that they give you. It's a wrench, and then you're just going to tighten it until it's snug. Your braces are going to just go in here, and you should see where they line up. As you can see, it's got slots in it. You're going to line those slots up like this, and there's holes. So you're going to take this small screw again. That's the only one it should have left. I'm going to put a washer on it, and you're going to run it through. Now I can tell you, these are barely long enough. So you got the screw and the washer. She shines here on the back. It only gives you a tiny bit, so you're going to have to squeeze this together, because you still have to put the washer and the nut. If you don't squeeze it together, you're not going to have enough room. And you're going to do that for 4 on each side. In my situation, they did not give me enough washers, so I'm going to have to pick and choose how I'm going to use them. Because you should have a total of 2, 4, 8 of these. We've already used 2, so there's 8. We have all of these, but we don't have all these. We're missing, I think, 2. So what I'm going to put them on is the back side, because the nut side is thicker and it's wider compared. So 2 of mine are not going to have the washer that it needs. They don't really have to have them. This is just basically for to keep it spread apart. But you should have enough to put one on the inside and on the outside. I'm tightening the rest of these screws down, double checking them. I ended up being 1 nut short, which I had 1 in the garage, and looked like about 4 washers short, which I just did without those. Like I said, right now we're just tightening. No sense in just letting her rip and stripping stuff out. I've seen that happen too many times. So I tap my trigger. Do it up. Okay, so this should be completed. These 4 pieces are movable. You put them in there. Let's see up here. See, they got grips on them. So that's if you want to put something in here. So you just pop it in place wherever you need it, and you'll put whatever it is in here. Let me show you. We're going to slap these back in. So let's say you're cutting a piece of wood, or this has a 200-pound weight capacity, or so it says. I can tell you it's not really heavy duty like you would. So I'd be skeptical putting 200 pounds on here. It'll work for what I need it for. So let's say I got a piece of wood in here I want cut, and I just twist these closed. It clamps your wood down in here, or whatever you got, whatever you're cutting. They're locked in here between these, or if you have them in here, and then you cut it. It also has a tape measure on the outside. It goes up to 24 inches. So if you need to cut something to 12 inches, you can mark it. And it has a angle, so you can see what angle you're cutting at and all that stuff. But just like I said, this is Performance Tools. Has a 200-pound weight capacity. Says Performance Tools right here. It has your slot for your, when you're done with your tools, you just put them in there. Let's see here. Just set them in there like that, so you don't lose your tools. And that's how to assemble one without an instruction manual and missing some of the bolts. Quality wise, On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give us like a 6. I mean, it's not cheap, super cheap, but it's not really great either. But it's a fairly cheap model. It didn't cost any more than a sawhorse, and it's going to have more uses than a sawhorse. So I would, if you can get it for the price we got it for, which is roughly the same price as a sawhorse, I'd recommend it. I wouldn't pay top dollar for it, but it's good for what it's going to be doing. It's going to be basically a sawhorse. It's going to be a little more sturdy because it's metal. It has the ability to measure stuff, cut stuff, and hold tools. So if you like this video, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again. One last thing, we'll show you. We're getting ready to put this away. Pop these up. They were locked. Pop them up. Folds away for easy. Folds almost in half, so it won't take up near as much room.